can fix it.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are going to bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 laps and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. You hear that, Ben? You hear that?
What?
Listen. Turn it up. Turn it up, Ben. You hear that? What's it saying? Hi.
Is that what it's saying?
Yeah, it's pumping up Josh Heupel. It's all along, man. Didn't even hear it until after the first day of fall camp practice. That's what he was saying the whole time, man. Talking about hype. Josh Heupel. Now you hear it. Now you hear it, Ben. This whole time we've been playing this, man. Even before Josh Heupel was a head coach. This whole time, man. There it is.
I still don't hear it, but I'll take your word for it.
So who's the All-American? After the first day of practice, we have plenty to discuss here on the Swain event. Ben, good morning, my friend.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, man. I am good, man. Ready to rock and roll. How was the first day, man? Somebody had to stay back and play the music instruments and be the band while the Titanic went down. Somebody got to do that. That's what I did yesterday while you went out and was the hero and went to practice. So how was it, man? How was practice?
It was nice. It was football. And after the last several months, just to simply watch football, even if it was practice in shorts and not in full pads, and it was the first practice. It was still nice to think about X's and O's and see the ball flying around and players flying around compared to all the other crap that we've had to talk about the last several months. So that's why it was great for me. I hate that they are practicing at 9 o'clock in the morning throughout the month of August, because that was my first and last practice that I will be able to attend this fall camp because of when they have scheduled practice, unless they want to open up a Saturday practice, which I highly doubt that they will, because that is scrimmage day. But it was nice. It was nice.
Ben, I got your back. I got your back. All good, Ben. I got you, man. I got you. That's what we're a team, man. With our powers combined. I am Captain Planet. We are the Swain event. With our powers are combined, Ben. I got you, man. I got you taken care of. 865-250-503. Irish Networks hotline. If you want to get in on the conversation at any point of the show, you can do that. We'll be really lenient today because, hey, one Swain event, right? One Swain event. Yesterday, Ben, when you went to practice, I talked a little bit about how important it was for Josh Heupel, how he handles Austin Pope, and how that's going to build trust for his current team, his future team, future recruits, is very, very, very important, and something that he has talked about in length is the importance of trust. Well, I'm sitting here on VolQuest.com, and the first thing I see on the opening page is an article from Eric Kane. And the title is Replenish Linebacker Room Looks to Mitchell and Banks as Leaders. And I'm just sitting here like, so proud of Jeremy Banks, because this is a prime example of why sometimes you don't throw people away. You just don't throw them away. You don't throw them away. You can rehabilitate people. You can allow people to have second chances and earn second chances. Not have, but earn second chances based on what they do. And to be in a position that Jeremy Banks is right now, that means he's done a lot of work. He has earned the right to be here. Because being in this position of leadership, you don't get to this point by just showing up. You don't get to this point by just talking about it. You get to this point by your actions each and every day, your habits each and every day. So it's pretty cool to see Jeremy Banks in this position. I don't know if he's going to be a true leader for this team or a captain, or who knows. But to be in this position that he is in means that, man, he's put the work in. So that was the first thing I thought about when I opened up VolQuest early this morning, was I saw Banks' name. I was like, man, what a journey. What a journey for Jeremy Banks.
Yeah, Tennessee needs him to play a big role on the defense this year. Not only on the defense, but on the team as well. Tennessee needs leadership, and Jeremy Banks is a guy that can provide that leadership, not only at the defensive level, which is what you initially think of, but he needs to be a leader for the whole team.
And there's so many different ways you can lead too, Ben. You have your vocal leaders. You got your guys that lead by example. Derek Barnett was a perfect example of someone that, I never heard him talk before, to be honest. But he led by example. He led by his actions. And then you have, your rah-rah guys. And for some people that has a negative connotation because they think all you do is just talk and you don't do anything else. But your rah-rah guys can also be leaders because they're the ones who are vocal. They're the ones who are talking during practice. Come on, guys. Come on. One more. Let's go. Let's finish hard. All right, guys. Great day out here. Let's be great today. Come on, man. Thursday's the best day of the week. You have those guys. There's different ways to lead. And Jeremy Banks, man, is someone that can lead because, man, he's the type of player that you need on your team. Mm-hmm. You actually need a couple more of these guys, some rough riders. You need some more rough riders on this team, and so you can lead by several different ways. And I know people are still caught up on him getting in trouble initially, and there's a ton of context that happened surrounding his arrest and him getting in trouble that I think people have not grasped and won't understand. And if they, were told, they don't want to hear it. They've already had their mind made up. Certainly was a bad decision on Jeremy Banks' part, but it's something that he's learned from, he's grown from, and it's pretty cool to see him in this position. And it's a prime example of just not throwing people away. Allow people to earn their second chances because you never know, they may turn into something special. And Banks has that opportunity. He has that opportunity.
Yes, he does. Now, I'd also like to see him step up and be a productive football player for the first time in his career. That is something that he has not done, both because of injury and switching positions and getting in trouble, not having a true offseason last year to develop, which I don't know how much he would have developed anyway, since Tennessee did not have any coaching at the linebacker position.
You want consistent production.
I want any production. He hasn't really given any production at linebacker.
Man, I see him out there making a play or two. A play or two here or there. You want more, and you want it consistent.
I can't. When I think of Jeremy Banks plays at Tennessee, I think of the interceptions against the cupcake teams when he was, what was that, a true sophomore? I guess it would be 19. Didn't he have interceptions at one point against a couple cupcake teams? I mean, my point being, he hasn't made a whole lot of plays. You would think that he has by the way that we talk about him. So I would like to see him combine the leadership.
Who was we?
We as people who cover Tennessee and
you mean Swain Event or media?
Swain Event, the entire media. I mean, you just took up for him and said that he's made a play or two.
No, yeah, I mean, you when you play, I mean, you can't sit there and say a guy, hasn't made a play if he's out there playing. That would be like someone in basketball logging 30 minutes and they have 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists. And, we've covered Tennessee basketball. We've seen those type of performances before. But Jeremy Banks has made some plays, but he's just been inconsistent, and he needs to do more. Remember who was playing in front of him because of some political reasons. Yes.
Are you saying that he should have been playing over Henry To'oTo'o?
I'm saying that no, not Henry To'oTo'o, but Kavaris Crouch. There were several guys that could have been playing over Kavaris Crouch, to be honest. Aaron Beasley's one of them. Mm-hmm. Jeremy Banks. You can't tell me that Kavaris Crouch played so well at linebacker that no one was able to play over him. There was times when Banks was in instead of Crouch. Those guys rotated. So he has made some plays, but you're right. We at the media have talked about him more than what his production would suggest. Why? Because his time at running back, people start hyping him up, making T-shirts, stealing the young man's money because what was it, calling him a bull or whatever,
something like that.
But just a lot of hype early because people liked the way he ran the football. But he has had some injuries. He was off the team for a little bit. So yeah, I think we need to see more.
The former coaching staff completely ruined his development.
Correct.
I put the fact that Jeremy Banks only has 38 career tackles.
Mm-hmm.
He has 2 career interceptions, and they came in one game against UTC his sophomore year. He has 1 rushing touchdown, meaningful rushing touchdown, and even that. And when I say meaningful touchdown, I'm talking about in terms of who it was against. It was against Florida, but it was during the 2018 game in which Austin Pope fumbled at the pylon, and Tennessee was getting blown out. So how meaningful was even that touchdown?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not putting any. Well, it's not all on the former coaching staff, but I think a large part as to why Jeremy Banks hasn't maybe been as productive as we initially thought, because he definitely has the ability, the natural ability, the natural athleticism. He's got that type of dog in him that you want your players to have. But the reason he only has 38 career tackles going into this season is because the former staff ruined him. Should not have been playing running back. If Jeremy Banks or if Jeremy Pruitt truly thinks that Jeremy Banks is a better linebacker than running back, then he should have started off at linebacker. Maybe that was a Banks decision and not a Pruitt decision. Pruitt was high on allowing his players to start off playing where they wanted to play, and maybe that's why Banks started at running back.
I'm cool with him playing running back at the beginner.
Yeah,
because you needed some guys that can with some physicality. Remember, we had Todd Chandler and
Mondre London.
Yeah, you had some smaller guys that wasn't necessarily the hammer. Mm-hmm. But the moment that Banks started putting the ball on the ground, it was time start relocating his position meeting room. And that's what's happened in Tennessee, as long as Tennessee has been good. Is you take a very good running back from high school or one that got a chance early here in Tennessee, and then you move their butt to linebacker and they go on to be All-American. So I think the decision to start him at running back was okay. The problem was he didn't have adequate coaching at linebacker last year. That was the biggest problem. No one in that room had coaching from a linebacker coach with any experience coaching the position in a pivotal year inside of the SEC. I mean, that was criminal to put a first-time coach at that position. I mean, you can't play around with that position. You can play around with like tight end or running back or something like that, but you can't play around with a really good recruiter who does not have any coaching experience at linebacker. No, that's the quarterback of the defense. Absolutely not. You can't play around like that. But Banks did make several plays in his time on special teams. 1/3 of the game, equally as important as the other two phases of the game. But we need to see him more on defense, and we need him to be more consistent and
productive.
Yeah. Well, yeah, more, see him more. That's speak to the production. And we need to see him more consistently making plays, not just flashing here and there and disappearing. And part of it is his fault, and part of it is not his fault. But he's in a position where I don't know if you're gonna be able to sit here and blame the coaches because he's gonna be given every opportunity to take the bull by his horns and go lead this linebacker group. From an experience standpoint from Tennessee, but Mitchell probably is the best linebacker and the one who has been more productive in college. But these two guys, man, they have a chance. They can stay healthy. They can play together. They have a chance. And Banks he is a small linebacker, but you got to have those smaller linebackers, guys who can run. He is a little short for the position, but he can make up for with his intelligence, with his anticipation, with his effort.
His tenacity.
That's right, with his heart. Because he's Memphis.
I like Banks. I really do. But we have gotten into this mindset of talking about him as if it's a given that he's going to be a productive player for Tennessee when we have not seen that to this point in his career. I think he can achieve being a productive player for Tennessee, and hopefully he can find his groove this fall camp, because he didn't go through spring because he was dealing with an off-season surgery that he had right after the season. So if Ryan Jean-Marie can get the most out of him to go along with Juwan Mitchell, who, Swain, Tennessee doesn't have a lot of players that look like SEC players. Juwan Mitchell looks like an SEC football player. That boy is
thick. I mean, he's coming from an SEC program.
That is true. He is coming from an SEC program in Texas, but he looks really good in shells. Well, they weren't even in shells, but in shorts and jersey, practice jersey. He looked good. He looked like an SEC football player. That was honestly one of the first things that stood out to me yesterday was, dang, Juwan Mitchell is huge.
You're not going to go chip paint on us, are you?
No. I'm not going to talk about his.
You're going to talk about how you got an apple bottom and stuff, are you?
No, but if we start talking about Tyon Evans, I might go there.
First break of the day, Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Be right back.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com.
If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill or call 865-693-5400.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
With smartphones being such an integral part of our daily lives, it is truly an inconvenience when it doesn't work properly. It disrupts the normalcy of our day. When you go into the cell phone store to have it repaired, they just try to upsell you on a new phone. That's why the owner of iDrop, TKL, left those places and opened iDrop. His goal is a happy customer. TKL and the team will listen to what you have going on and work to solve the problem of your broken device in a way that best suits your needs. Instead of trying to upsell you on something that you just don't need. They don't just repair phones, they can service your laptop or PC as well as your Mac. Windows 7 support is over, but iDrop can help you transition to Windows 10. They have a 5-star rating on Google with hundreds of positive reviews. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all understand how big this is. They have a 5-star rating on Google. Their customer service really speaks for itself. So if you ever find yourself with a device that isn't performing as it should, give iDrop a call at 865-888-9740 or check them out on Facebook at iDrop of Knoxville. If man made it, they can fix it.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, live from the Low T Center studio. I mean, I tell you what, Josh Hyper, man. He's real comfortable.
Yes.
He's real comfortable. And I don't know how important that is as far as winning games, but
I think it's very important.
I mean,
well, it kind of goes back to our conversation that we had with Austin Price earlier in the week.
Who that?
True. That it may like that. Like honestly, that's my biggest concern is that he may be too comfortable, and what I mean by that is what Austin said on Tuesday, and I'll just echo what he said, is that, you know, he may not have, like, he may give his coaching staff too much leash. It's the opposite. It is the complete opposite of Jeremy Pruitt. Jeremy Pruitt didn't give any of his fans, or his fans, well, he definitely didn't care about the fans, but he didn't give any of his coaching staff a leash to do their job.
Try to do everybody's job.
Correct. Especially early. That 2018 season, you always had the perfect way to describe it of him going back to his high school coaching roots of when he felt like he needed to pack everybody's lunches for road trips and do roll call on the bus to make sure everybody was on the bus to get to an away game and cut the grass on the game field and the practice field. You know, got to coach the offense, got to coach the defense, the O-line, the D-line, the linebackers, the running backs, everything. Got to coach the kicker up, the punter. That was Jeremy Pruitt. He felt like he needed to do everything. And it seems like part of that is because of his high school roots. That's kind of what he grew up knowing. And you always revert back to what you know and what you're comfortable doing. And I do think that is an impressive trait about Jeremy Pruitt. It speaks to the level of football coach that he is. And hear that, football coach, not head coach. There's a difference. He is a great football coach when it comes to just coaching the game. And to me, that was always one of the more impressive traits that he had, is that he could coach multiple positions on offense or defense because he did it in high school. He did it growing up because of his dad. But at this level, you have to let your coaches coach. And it's the opposite that I'm concerned about with Josh Heupel moving forward, that he's going to have to prove, is that, yes, he lets his coaches coach and do their thing. He lets Tim Banks run the defense on and off the field. But when it comes time to make a decision, he also needs to be able to step up and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. And he is very comfortable. And I think that is a good thing, because that will allow him to allow his coaches to coach. But does he allow that comfortability to maybe prevent him from stepping up and putting his foot down when it needs to be put down?
How comfortable did Walker Merrill look in that knee brace?
He actually looked real comfortable. I like Walker Merrill, man.
I do too.
I like Tennessee's young receivers. I like Walker Merrill. Jimmy Callaway looked good. Jimmy Callaway looked really good. He looked smooth, man. Jimmy Holiday looked pretty good. He's still young. You can tell he's still learning the receiver position. I mean, he's a guy that played quarterback in high school, and Coach Burns was getting on to him about being too stiff, kind of coming out of his stance and coming out of his release. And he told him that he looked like a robot. So
gotta have loose hips.
Yep. So he's young and still learning the position, but Jalen Hyatt, there were three guys that really stood out to me yesterday. And please take this with a grain of salt. It was the first day of practice. They're not in pads. They're not really playing football. And we did get to see a lot.
I'm about to hype you up, man.
More than
I'm not taking a grain of salt.
We're used to. That's fine. I'm cool with what I saw, because I saw flashes of it back in the spring as well. But Jalen Hyatt, he reminds me of when you used to talk about Cam Sutton going into his junior year, even though he stayed for his senior year.
Yeah.
He had a business approach to him. You could tell.
Good.
I thought Jalen Hyatt had that.
Good.
At least yesterday, by what I was seeing, he was he was moving with a sense of urgency.
Good.
It was, we're working right now. He was getting on to guys, correcting guys.
What?
There was a youngster who looked.
See you, Jalen.
It looked like this youngster was. Looked like he was trying to avoid throwing up.
Oh yeah, first day.
And I do think it was.
Did he have a visor on? Because that first day visor, woo.
And I think this was more of a coincidence than telling of the freshman's body shape. Because you hear that and you think, oh, he's out of shape. I don't think it was that, because this is a freshman that the coaches have spoken highly about, a freshman that went through the spring, was in the off-season program all season long. It looked like it was just an unfortunate coincidence for this young man that he just wasn't feeling well. And he was off to the side, like trying to, because he was eating a granola bar, trying to keep water down. And Jalen was like, come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. He was like trying to get him in the action.
So I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think it was yesterday we had a conversation about how the first day of practice you have like all these emotions going on. You got the butterflies, especially if you're a freshman. You got these butterflies going on. Your adrenaline gets to rushing. And if you ever hear, anyone talk about managing your emotions in pregame before a big game, so like sometimes you see, the Florida State game or the Miami-Florida State game, and pregame they're at the 50-yard line about to throw hands, about to fight. Before those big games, you have to really do a good job of controlling your emotions, because if you don't, you'll turn around and you'll be exhausted. You'll be out of breath because you have, used so much energy hyping yourself up. Well, first day of practice is similar because you're so excited, man. You're so excited to get on the football field. You're a freshman. You're ready to show, what you have. You're the low man on the totem pole now. You're going to prove what you have. And then you turn around and you are in a system where there's no walking. It's high, it's tempo all the time, from drill to drill. And it's built that way so you can get built-in conditioning. The days of Little League where you line up after practice, all right, guys, put your helmets on the side, put your pads on the side, and you run, 50 sprints, that's a waste of time. You can have built-in conditioning. And we would do that even without a fast tempo offense. Adding a fast tempo offense in, you definitely are not going to walk in between drills. It's going to be high tempo for 2 hours. Mm-hmm. And for freshmen, they're not ready for that, man. They're not ready for that intensity. They're not ready for that fast-paced transition between periods. And I don't care if it's not hot at all. That's different, and that's something you have to get used to. So I can only imagine how that freshman was trying to adjust,
yes,
and had to catch his breath a little bit. Happens to the best of us.
Yes, and I point that out to point out, using that example to set the stage for just the business-like approach that I thought Jalen Hyatt had in the 10, 15 minutes that I was really paying attention to him. And I was just simply watching the receivers. And honestly, I was watching the quarterbacks throw the football. and this caught my eye. I thought Jalen Hyatt had a very business-like approach. You could tell that he's no longer a freshman and kind of knows what needs to be done and where he needs to go. And I heard him chirping and correcting guys and encouraging guys and trying to help. So that stood out to me. He was one of the three that really stood out. Anderson Kobe was the other one that stood out to me. He's a guy that made some plays back in the spring, but also from time to time will drop the football, which obviously if you play receiver, not a great thing to do. But
so you end up at corner or safety.
Mm-hmm. That is exactly how you end up on the defensive side of the ball. But he looked really good going through not only simple routes on air, but also after they did that, they moved to one-on-ones, DBs versus receivers, and the quarterback was obviously throwing them the football, and he got the best of a couple of Tennessee's top DBs. So Anderson Kobe was impressive, and I wanted to bring up him and Jalen because that goes back to the original point that you brought up about how did Walker Merrill look in his big old knee brace. He actually looked good. I like Walker Merrill. I like Kobe. I like Holiday. Callaway looked really good. Callaway looked smooth, man. Real smooth. All of Tennessee's young receivers are very impressive and have the ability to go out and really be playmakers on this team and in this league.
Sorry, man.
And then the third guy, real quick, Warren Burrell looks real good. If you had no prior knowledge about Tennessee's defensive back room, and that was the first day that you had seen that personnel, you would think Warren Burrell is your best corner.
You remember he came in snatching people's jobs as a true freshman, and battled injuries as a true freshman, and if he can just stay healthy, I mean, he's been there. Mm-hmm. He's been to the promised land as a starter in the SEC. So he's been there. He has a little taste of what it feels like to be a starter, and hey, man, he wants to get back there. I was laughing because I was having some flashbacks. Walker Merrill, and I have a lot in common. True freshman, entered the practice field first time as wide receiver with a knee brace on. Because I started my career with a knee brace on.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How? Why?
I got hurt my senior year. I'm actually hurt in the Bob Jones game. And so I had a meniscus, I had an MCL that was improving slowly. But I started my career in a knee brace. And I remember, golly, I hope I don't get canceled.
Oh, boy.
But I remember I did not want it. I did not want a knee brace at all, man. I don't know how you run a knee brace on. But Amari Rogers did it really well. His second to last year. When he tore his ACL and still played that fall. He tore it in the spring, still played that fall. He played with a knee brace on. But it was so uncomfortable for me. And I remember having trouble with it. And we had one of our players on the team that, he liked girls and he liked boys, whatever, cool. And I didn't know that. And he was really nice in helping me with my knee brace. He was really, really nice. I was like, man, this is why I came to Tennessee. Teammates are just really, really nice. He just volunteered to help me with my knee brace. and after I realized, and he was an older player, but after I realized that he probably liked dudes and girls, I was like, oh, was he trying to come on to me? It was like my teammates trying to come on to me or something? That was weird. But I was over here laughing when you were talking about Walker Merrill on his knee brace because I had that flashback, man. I had that flashback of having a knee brace, a true freshman, and I probably had it on for like a couple days, and I was like, nah, man, this ain't gonna work. I cannot move sideways. I cannot cut the way I want to. I feel like I was out here with just one leg. I feel like a pirate with a peg leg. I just couldn't do it. But glad that Walker Merrill was still able to look good even with the knee brace on. I shouldn't get canceled. I think I'd clean that up pretty good.
We need to go to break.
I think my teammates trying to hit on me, man. I think that's what happened.
The receivers looked good. Well, we'll see how much it translates to the games.
First day.
I think they have potential. I think they have a lot of potential. In fact, they're just young, outside of Valus and Javonte Payton, and Javonte Payton looks smooth as well. Skinnier than I thought he would be. Not like skinny to the point to where if he gets hit, he's gonna snap in half, but a little slimmer than I thought. Julian Nixon. It's a good thing he's playing tight end. It would have been comical to watch him run around as a receiver. I don't see how he played receiver in high school. How was he not a tight end in high school?
In high school, you can do what you want.
You want to talk about big butts.
Yeah, in high school, you can do what you want because you're playing against little Timmy who is 5'3", 128 pounds, soaking wet. You can do what you want against players in high school.
A little bit I saw, though. He had soft hands. Julian Nixon.
This is one thing we got to keep in mind. Today, tomorrow, leading up to pads, the receivers and DBs are going to look great. But what happens when them pads go on? What happens when there's a real threat of you getting your head busted when you come across the middle, or when you catch the football on the perimeter. And you get ready to make a move and the pursuit is coming. Like, what are you going to do then? And what kind of football player are you going to be? So, like you said, you got to take things with a grain of salt. First day of practice, but it's good to see those guys bounce around and have some good days because the first day is the most important day. If you want to string together a good week, a good month of practice with consistency, it's good to start the first day. So now you got to do it again today. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
At work, can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design. When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Homes, remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy. Attaboy is brought to you by Made in Tennessee Business Fiber Internet from Iris Networks. Find business solutions for you at irisnetworksusa.com.
Attaboy is brought to you by Iris Networks. Reliable, high-quality business, fiber, internet, and voice. 90 days, no payment for business internet. irisnetworksusa.com. I mean, this is something that we expect. We expect for the USA team to do. and that is go out there and win the gold. But still give them credit when they go out there and play well, and that's what I'm doing today. The U.S. basketball team, 97-78 victory over Australia. They get an attaboy. Kevin Durant was doing his thing, as always, so I'm giving the men's basketball team an attaboy. I am going to give the ladies soccer team, they are in the finals, even though the game is being moved because of some heat concerns.
Concerns?
Hey, man. If we enjoyed some great weather like we did yesterday, that means somewhere around the world someone is not enjoying the same weather that we are experiencing. That's the way I look at weather, man. Somebody has to pay the price for us to have good weather. So, like, anytime there's a hurricane somewhere, we usually get some good weather, don't we? Mm-hmm. Nice and breezy, cool. But someone has to pay the price. So I thought the same way yesterday. You got to be hot somewhere. But anyways, yeah. According to ESPN, it was hot in Tokyo, and so the gold medal game, the gold medal game between Canada and Sweden was moved. So U.S. is not even in them. Excuse me. The U.S. got beat by Canada. So no, they don't get no atta girl. Sorry, U.S. team. You get a Champion of Life T-shirt. That's what you get. You get a Champion of Life T-shirt. I did watch the women's soccer game when they played Netherlands, and it was a shootout. Excuse me. And then they beat Netherlands, and then they lost to Canada. So no, they don't get an atta girl. False alarm. The men's basketball team gets the attaboy today for getting that win over Australia, which is what they're supposed to do, right? The U.S. team is supposed to win the gold.
Speaking of Australia, Ben Simmons is from Australia. Did you see?
I ain't worried about that.
Ben Simmons posted a photo of him working out, and it was like him pulling up for a jump shot. I guess he deleted it.
He's not even on the Australian Olympic team.
But he posted this photo, acting like he gonna pull for a jump shot, and somebody, my guy Big Shot Rob sent me this. Somebody commented and said he really posted a photo like he acted like he actually gonna pull up and take a shot because he refuses to take shots, and Ben Simmons responded to that person.
He was talking about how rich he was. That's his comeback.
No, the guy who said something, he had humongous lips, and Ben Simmons was making fun of him.
Okay.
It was funny.
Yeah, Australia. Ben Simmons is from Australia, but he did not participate in the Olympics because he wanted to work on his game, work on that jump shot.
Man, his comments. Woo! You better be working on that jumper.
People mean on social media, man.
Why ain't you behind the 3-point line? Bet you passed that instead of shooting.
Man, people mean. People ruthless, man.
Nah, I ain't falling for it. You didn't shoot that.
Golly, people mean.
I'm definitely not falling for it for a third time, Ben.
Man, I hope he gets a jump shot, man.
Stay in the gym. Don't come out.
I really hope he gets a jump shot.
Oh, yeah. I forgot you and him have your LSU ties. Oh, here it is. He really acted like he was about to shoot in that second pick. Ben Simmons responded and said, "Your lips look like you got stung by a bee, a nutty Professor Ad."
That was a good one. Big Orange Mac said, homie tried to pull a Jangle-Lane.
That was the dude that commented. Ben Simmons said something about his lips.
Hey, Ben Simmons, he could be in our locker room. Them jokes, man. That was a good one. Yeah, Big Orange Man. He tried to get me, man. He tried to pull a little Jangle-Lane on me. I was like, Martin, Or what's the scene when Faison Love was in Money Talks? Remember that, Big Orange Mac? Faison Love, Money Talks, when Chris Tucker was in jail, and Faison Love was trying to come on to Chris Tucker. He's like, no, wait, what you doing, man? No. That was me. What's going on here? Brian Hunsuckers, how does Cayman Marley look? Does he look like he'll stick at wide receiver, or will he be moved to DB next week?
I did not see enough of him to give you a legitimate answer, but I was stunned to walk out there and see him going through practice with the receivers in a number 42 jersey.
It's hard, man. It's hard when even if you practice for an hour, and you guys are almost there, an hour, 50 minutes watching basically half a practice. It seems like, but it's hard to see every single player and know, all right, this player did a good job today. That player did a good job today. That player didn't do a good job today. It takes like going to multiple practices to really be able to see different guys at different times, because you can find yourself just watching the wide receivers and wide receivers and quarterbacks together. And before you know it, 30 minutes has passed. A couple periods has passed.
You can't see everything.
You can't, because the defense, offense on different fields and
correct.
stuff. Yeah,
I stayed with the offense for 75%.
I know why you did.
Yeah, I was checking out the quarterbacks, which we haven't taled about yet.
I'm waiting for you to tell me who's going to be the starter based on yesterday.
Not Jared Garantano. That's been my answer. Everybody's been asking me, who's going to be the starter? Who looked the best? Not Jared Garantano. That is my answer. I have my opinions. I'm just trying to decide whether I want to go all the way and put them out there, because I know how y'all people like to bring it back on us if something else turns out to happen.
It's the first day, and I told you this yesterday. It's the first day, and every first day, there's more balls on the ground. Either bad passes, routes not being great, so it makes the pass look like it's inaccurate. Mm-hmm. Drop passes. There's more of that the first day than any point of the season, and so you just have to be really careful coming to a conclusion on the first day, because when you're running the curl route and you're supposed to come back at 45 degrees, but the receiver comes back at 55 degrees. And
you look wrong.
And the quarterback is throwing where he should be throwing the ball to, but the receiver's not where he's supposed to be. It looks like the quarterback is inaccurate.
Yep.
And so you really have to be careful if you're sitting there watching it. If you don't understand where the receiver is supposed to be and what he is running, then you can come back and report that the quarterback is off and he's inaccurate when really he's not. So that's why you have to take things with a grain of salt when you're talking about the first day of spring practice. Everyone looks the best. Everyone's going to be the freshest. Everyone's going to have the most energy, but you're going to see more balls on the ground. And that's the way it's always been, and I'm pretty sure that was the way it was yesterday.
There weren't a ton of balls on the ground. It honestly didn't look like a first day of practice. But you can also get a feel for the coaching staff's thought process based off of reps and who goes when. And yesterday it was Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton at the front of every line. And obviously I wasn't taking notes yesterday of how many reps Milton and Hooker took and Bailey took, Maurer took, but I barely saw Brian Maurer do anything. He was fourth in line and didn't see a ton of reps from Brian Maurer.
I mean, that's no surprise there.
And again, please take it with a grain of salt, because I did walk over and check out the O-line rotation and see that Darnell Wright's getting a crack at left tackle behind K'Ron Calvert, Dane Davis. So when I stepped away to go look at the O-line, Brian Maurer may have stepped in and went through reps. But when the offense and defense got together, it was the same situation. And Harrison Bailey was third behind Milton and Hooker the entire time we were there as well. And it wasn't like Pruitt to where they all got equal reps either. Like, if you were going fourth under Pruitt, you still got the same amount of reps as JG. It's not the case anymore. And it felt...
Dang, first day.
Again, I don't
Reps
have...
reduced.
I mean, I don't have an official tally, but to my naked eye and to what I was seeing and feeling, it felt like Milton and Hooker took the majority of the reps. That's what it felt like.
As they should.
Yes, as they should. And I had the same opinion after the first day as I did kind of throughout the summer and throughout that conversation we had last week. That everybody's kind of talking about Harrison Bailey and Joe Milton. I think that Hendon Hooker is going to prove to be the most consistent. That's my opinion, obviously. I think throughout the course of camp, Hendon Hooker will prove to be the most consistent. And that goes a long way under coaches, for coaches. So I'll be curious to see how that plays out. Joe Milton, by far, has the best stuff. Like a pitcher. He has the best stuff. He throws the absolute lights out of the ball. And I can see why accuracy has been the knock on him. Because I'm not a quarterback's coach. I'm sure mechanics are involved, but I wonder how much of it is mechanics and how much of it is him just letting the ball rip. Because, I mean, it's a 5-yard route, and he's throwing it like he needs to throw it 70 yards down the field. I mean, he puts a lot of juice on the ball. There's a lot of zip on it, and it seemed like receivers were having a hard time catching it because of how much of zip was on it. And
they put mustard. They call it mustard.
Yeah, he puts a lot of mustard on his passes. So it seems like there needs to be a little bit of touch and feel developed there. But in terms of deep balls, I mean, he throws the absolute lights out of it. Now, Harrison did have the best throw of the day on a deep ball, but in terms of consistency, I personally thought Milton and Hooker looked the best. And if I want to take it a step further, I thought Hooker looked the best. He looks like a guy that's played a bunch of football, who's a senior, knows what he's supposed to be doing, and I think he's going to prove to be the most consistent. We'll see what happens in scrimmages.
That's some strong words right there, Ben.
I think he's going to prove to be the most consistent. You know what you're going to get with Hendon Hooker. I don't know if the coaching staff knows what they're going to get with Milton, Bailey, Maurer.
Ben, I mean, to say that you think he's going to be the most consistent, that would, being the most consistent means that you are trusted the most, and yes, that is you starting and playing.
Yes. Now, again, that was Milton's first day of practice ever at Tennessee. Let's see how comfortable he feels in a week or two. Because once he does gain that comfortability, how consistent does he become?
Hour 2 coming up.